Ladies and gentlemen, Kimo,
Are we being televised?
And watch, I will forget. We have, in a day and a half that we have come together, what I notice I'm wanting to observe is I see people that generally don't talk a lot at church, talk a lot today, this week, with one another. You know, it's like you have certain people sit certain places, and you got certain people sit the other places. And it's just a, hi, how are you? That's about it. So what is nice is to see that these people are talking like we're all together in one place, which we are. And if anything that we get out of this is that we have found out a little bit more about each other, that's great. Because that's what it's all about, because that's where unity begins. It begins right at home, basically. And that's where it begins in our own parishes. If you're not unified in your parish, you're not together in your parish, then how are you supposed to tell everybody that we need to be unified as a church? So this is a good beginning, and it is a good sign. Today, at ordination, I don't know how, we can ask Pete expressed how he felt to be ordained, as his mom and Warren has expressed. But for some of you, compared to 2 years ago, let's say 2,000 years ago, that's a long time. I don't think I'll remember. 2 years ago, that attended the consecration mass and the ordination mass at St. John's Cathedral. Isn't it different? You were right in the midst of that ordination. You weren't sitting somewhere else.
It was. You could just feel the love, the emotion, everybody's energy. Because I attended Jacobs. Jacobs was a lot of people. Like, if you feel the church, people couldn't sit down. It was a lot of people. And the smaller, the connection between people, it really drew everybody in. It brought me closer to you guys. And I was glad that I was able to be part of that. It was telling everybody how intense it was for all of us. Like, emotionally, it was just like so positive and happiness. Like, it felt like a family. It was really exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to share their feeling of this ordination? You know, I can talk about me, but that's me. But it's about us. You know, so I'd like to know if anybody else, just be open and talk about Jacob.
Well, what inspired me during the ceremony was that at one moment it's, we think, for me, I thought like many years ago becoming a priest, we just talk about building a church. We start out in a backyard at my aunt's house, and then we get to know Bishop, and we build the church, and now we rent a facility. And it just, like, I was sitting back there, and it's just growth, how this is a new opportunity, that we have this opportunity to learn so much from Bishop and from all the other bishops that are here today, but also to start a new legacy for the ecumenical Catholic Church. Father Pete and I will be able to communicate and work, from Hawaii and California and build this dialogue, so that if we have people going to Hawaii, there's a church over there, and we're all over, it's this new part of it, and it's this new world to build, an even bigger community, and just spreading that. I was like, this is a new growth, and it's also a legacy that will last. Years from now, we're not all going to be here, but you will also live on with this whole journey, and keep going through that Catholic Church, and one day, it's all going to be somebody else will take over, and this is starting something that will last forever. If we all believe in it and work together.
And make our way to Hawaii today and see you in action. That is cool.
You'll be doing it from the beach. wasn't in the temple, he was in the building.
It doesn't sound like that.
Talking about reaching out to people. We bring to them. That's another part of ministry that we have to explore. Anybody else want to share? Anybody? Just your thoughts. Good or bad? I mean, it's good. Oh, I have to be talking before. I know you guys talked about the motivation. I mean, I want to let's put our clergy on the spot because this is important for them. For me, to have the support of Father Jacob, Father Julio, our bishops, Tony, Michael, and Mark, it's important because, first of all, what we showed today was the unity of churches coming together. Fellowship is one of the most important things, and that is prayer. It had nothing to do with liturgy. It had nothing to do with what the Church of Antioch does, or the Ecumenical Catholic Church of Christ does. It was coming together in unity for the purpose of ordaining one of God's chosen one to the priesthood. That was the most important thing. So if I may just turn over to any of our bishops back there.
I think one of the things for me, this was very special. When being a bishop and actually being able to impose hands on another person and impart to that individual the Holy Spirit. I mean, this is not a joke. This is something very, very critical. I think this was one of the finest ordinations that I've attended in a long time. Kimo, to you, I mean, this was very spirit filled. It was very very holistic, very caring, very how can I put it? The feeling, that's what it was.
He called me a fish. Please, tomorrow,
Yes,
very softly say the words of prayer.
I will.
Very soft.
I'll be softer than that. No, but in all honesty, look, I had a chance to sit down afterwards, my own thoughts, just to quiet down from all running around that we've been doing. And I was thinking about what we did. We, not just the bishop, we did. And I wrote a letter to my brother Carmen, who's a Franciscan priest, who's in the same order he was before I left. And he's been a very strong individual in my life. He's my older brother. I'm the youngest. And I told him, I says, it's a very awesome feeling to understand that we are here because we were called here by God Himself. All of us were called here to this day. Everybody that is here was called here for a purpose, invited here by the divine. And to have the privilege as a bishop to be able to impart the divine spirit on another person and to sit there and say, you are now a shepherd. You are now one of us. You are now in charge of Christ's flock. Right? And that is not something that is taken lightly. Kimo did not appoint you. God appointed you. And Kimo did not appoint me. God appointed me. And all of us, God appointed us. And today it was solidified. We are all ordained and renewed in the Spirit of God today.
Amen.
And that's I can't say any more than that. I mean, it was very, very moving. And as I said, compliments to you from the bottom of my heart. This was one of the finest spirit-filled liturgies. I can't imagine better.
You know, as I said,
Thank you.
as I said in the last, as I said, it is through God,
Yes.
through his apostles, and through us that he was ordained. It's not me, it's never a one-man show. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm gonna skip over Michael for a second, but I wanna go with Mark. Mark?
Thank you. I think I'm approaching it from two levels, what it means for me personally and as a guest and observer, what I think it means for your jurisdiction. For me personally, whenever I attend an ordination, priesthood or whatever, it reminds me of my own ordination. And it brings back that memory and that sense of energy, that sense of excitement and commitment. So I share that with the person who's being ordained, but I'm also feeling it myself. So it becomes a reaffirmation, in a sense, for me, of the commitment that I made and the validity of that commitment, the rightness of it. As implication for the Ecumenical Catholic Church, it's an indication again of the growth that's occurring within the church. It's an affirmation of the presence of the Spirit very powerfully in the church. It was a very inspiring and touching ceremony, and that speaks to the presence of the Spirit and the future of the church and its growth potential. So, very positive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, Bishop, Michael, I haven't really known him formally. I've only been communicated through Archbishop Tony when we look at another candidate, and because the candidate was here in Phoenix, Bishop Michael, not a bishop at that time, but he came aboard to help us, to help this young man discern, also to help us to be aware. You know, we're not perfect. As an archbishop, I'm not perfect. I may not make the right choices, but there could be people that I can reach out to that can help me make the right choices or correct what I have wrong, so that it doesn't affect the people like you, the flock. So Michael played an important part in discerning and helping this young man, and then through actually Tony. And then I found out that he was consecrated bishop. I mean, it was like just, I'm glad he is. And last night, when Bishop Mark said, Bishop Michael is coming, Michael, you don't know how I felt. I mean, it felt like I knew you, and I didn't know you, but it felt right, and it felt blessed for me, for you to be here. So, you know, you kind of walked in the mist, and I saw how you were talking to people, and it's like, this is great. So, you know, if you would share, please.
Yeah, first of all, thank you. I know I may appear as a stranger to many of you, that who's this guy, waltzing in, but I've actually been walking with your community for some time, and especially with Tony, and that's been quite a walk.
Especially from Sacramento.
And I was contacted to help in terms of teaching liturgy and some sacramental preparation for a candidate who is discerning. And sometimes we discern and we move in one direction, or we discern and we move in another direction. And neither right is wrong. It's just where the Spirit leads us. So I have been accompanying your group in kind of a loose way. So I'm not truly a stranger. I was ordained a bishop here in this chapel last October. So it's very recent. So, and Pete, it is true. You can never go through an ordination without thinking of your own. And it is always for me the touchstone of the heart of what it is for me to be a priest, in terms of service, in terms of hearing those words when the bishop gives the instruction to us. When I was a deacon, I had to go on a retreat for my diaconate. So the seminary told me, well, you need to find yourself a retreat director. So forth. So I called this retreat center. Yes, we have a retreat director. So I got to the retreat center, and here was this guy that shows up, and he's like 89 years old. He could barely walk, and I went, oh my God, I'm with this guy for a week. And for the retreat, what he gave me was the instruction. In the ordination, when the bishop reads the instruction, he gave me that. He said, this in your Bible is all I want you to look at. And that instruction has always been with me. So I encourage you on times to look at that instruction again. It's kind of like our job description in a spiritual way, and it reminds us of who we are. So today is always a celebration for all of us, not just for you. And I could see that in everyone that was gathered here. And that is when the Spirit of God really moves. As a group, as a community, the earliest Christian community, the people looked at their candidate and said, you can speak for us. We vouch for you. You can represent us. You can speak to other members in the community for us. That's what it means to be a priest. And everything that we have comes from the people. Without the people, we're nothing. And so it's so good to see all of you participating. And I'm grateful that I could be here as well. So, and the hat was a complete fluke.
Was it?
Complete. I just bought the hat, I came over, and then everybody starts talking about Pete. And I said, that's my hat. That's the hat. So I'm glad, I brought it for a reason.
You gave him a hat?
Yeah.
You put his name on it?
No, I had the name on it. No, I didn't.
Well, what are you going to have with the name?
Then why am I buying a hat with Pete?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know that answer?
Yes.
I never make a political contribution, but I did make a political contribution to Pete. I made a political contribution to Pete Buttigieg. So Pete sent me a hat. And so so that's even better. So thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
No, thank you. You know, I think one of the most important person to me to renew the priestly vows or to feel it is someone who was ordained a priest, 3 years ago. And when we had talked briefly about Pete and some of his anxiety, I remember Jacob going, I know what it's like. I went through that. So I want to ask Father Jacob, because it's so close. I'm sure at the moment of he, like all of us, relived that ordination. But I think for Father Jacob, it was more closer to home because it's more recent, to have that feeling than for us who are, I'm not going to use the word old, I'm going to use the word seasoned. Yeah, it affects us. I like that. So,
Yeah. It was just a beautiful ceremony, and of course, it's something that you think about your own, you think about your own. You about your own organization, and you think about the people that were there. And there's a lot of people that were no longer here with us that attended my service. So you just, at that moment, you just think about them, and I have that blessing that I know that those people were able to see that moment. And that will always live with me. And to look at those pictures and think about. So it's always nice to, just to see those things and relive those moments and cherish those and share these blessings with new people. We want the best for them, so that we all got here to hopefully learn something, take something out of it, and also pray for other people. But blessing you all here at that moment to celebrate you, and that's your moment just to take it all in. So, I remember just to keep reminding myself just to enjoy it. Bishop says, this is your moment to enjoy it and take it all in, and it's going to go past. You might not remember anything, but just pick something and you'll always remember it. And I remember just thinking about how privileged I was of blessed, of having everybody there when you're laying down at the lowest point of the chapel. And these people are there praying for you and blessing you, and your life just goes in your head, and you're just thanking everybody that your teacher that was in third grade that said, you're going to be something one day. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but you're special. And I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about now. So, but it's just those blessings. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, first of all, I'm happy and I'm very excited being here. And I may say in 5 weeks, I have been blessed by this community. I have experienced so many beautiful things and the people I have met. People like Paula, like Mary, like Jessica, like Father Peter, Jacob, Bishop Kimo, that has been taking care of me most of the time. And so it's a day of blessing. It's a day of blessing. I agree with Bishop Michael when he mentioned the first Christian communities. Being a missionary for me, the aim of my community was to go for primary evangelization. Those who are not Christians yet. So we went to Africa to witness Christ, not just to convert people or to make them like us, but we were there to witness, to show them what a Christian means. And so it was very beautiful. And today I got this feeling of renewal. Like I was used in our Catholic church, to see always a big crowd of people. I was ordained with more than 40 deacons, and so it was always big crowds. When I was ordained priest, we were many, so it was thousands of people. And to talk to a bishop, to see a bishop, it was just like you'll see him from far, say hello, and that's all. There is not this kind of friendship and being close, being able to talk to ask something, and to share what is common to all of us. We as priests, we help the bishops to do the work of the church, And so I feel today and this experience here, just for a month, is really a blessing. And finally, I'm very happy about meeting Peter and his mom and his brother. I don't know, but I feel like I love them. I want to be with them, to talk to them. I have been saying some few things, and I told Peter after the ordination, don't forget you are a missionary. I want to plant this seed of mission. I want to plant the seed of mission in the heart of everybody. Being bishop, priest, lay people, we are all one in Christ. But always with this in mind, that we are building church. Before, I was like, we are tired of church. You see? Crowds, hundreds of years, tradition. It was like a burden that was there on my back. And now I feel like we are giving birth to something. We are seeing the flourishing of something that is beautiful. And I feel like my faith is renewed. My ministry is renewed after 17 years being a priest. And my baptism is renewed. So I really feel great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's at least to what this whole weekend is about ecumenism. And we sometimes, all of us, when we talk to Bishop Michael, we as Roman Catholics who are clergy, some went through the process of being ordained, a priest left. Some have gone through the process and then to be told, oh, as a minority, you never succeed. Many of us, we're not even aware of what ecumenism is and what it means to the Catholic Church. We're learning like you're learning today. Many of you who are Roman Catholics are Roman Catholics by birth. The word ecumenical is brand new, but yet there's something about it that is causing you to say, what is it that we need more to learn, to understand? And I'm sure there's many of you that probably question our validity. Question Father Jacob, was he valuably ordained? It's not wrong to think that way, especially when you don't understand ecumenical. The Ecumenical Catholic Church of Christ is a worldwide ecumenical faith community who believes in a one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. The foundation of this jurisdiction is from the Roman Catholic Church, the Church of Antioch, and the Old Catholics. This is what makes the Ecumenical Catholic Church of Christ. And I said earlier today, the analogy that I want to begin this and for you to understand is a corporation, because we understand that as a secular term. God is the CEO. All the different churches, all the different departments. If you work in a big company, you know that. If you're in charge of HR, you're in charge of HR. But you have nothing to do with budget and finance. Or you have nothing to do with development. Or you have nothing to do with construction. But on the whole, these different departments makes up this corporation and reports to the one person, the CEO. That's who God is in this Christian foundation. I say Christian, I didn't say Catholic. Because God is the CEO, all the different religions serve in different departments to serve the community. That's what God wants us to do. Some are maybe led towards an old Catholic faith. Some may be led towards the Church of Antioch. Some may be led towards being a Lutheran or Episcopalian. It's all the same because we all have one CEO. And that's the analogy that we begin with. And then when I share it in Galatians, many times, and I use this all the time because sometimes you say it once, people forget. You say it twice, okay. But if you keep saying it in your own heart, then you begin to understand what it means to be unified. Galatians 3:28. When it says, neither Gentile, Jew or Gentile, neither slavery or free, nor male or female, we are one in Christ. I want to begin with something that we as the Ecumenical Catholic Church of Christ in the Western region look at as how we are ecumenical. And this is actually from the Vatican, the Declaration of Dominus Iesus, when it says, the churches which while not existing, listen to this, not existing in perfect communion with the Catholic Church, remain united to her by means of the closest bond, and that is a valid apostolic succession and a valid Eucharist. That speaks for itself. Who can question us to be different if we have a valid apostolic succession and we have a valid Eucharist? And these are the true particulars of churches. This was written as part of Dominus Iesus. A lot of us are talking about the Vatican II and how, Olivia and I were talking, how it's not too far ago. It's not too long ago. 1960, Vatican II opened its windows, invited ecumenism. The church, I would say, failed to continue in that movement. Today, we have to do the research to make sure that when people question us, we have the answers. So, Dominus Iesus is the beginning of understanding what it is. I don't know if any of you know where the word ecumenism comes from. It's actually a Greek word. It comes from the Greek word oikomene. Oikomene is a Greek word for being ecumenical, which basically means the whole inhabited world. Not a divided world, but a whole inhabited world. That's who we are. We are one. We are united by our Eucharist and by our apostolic succession. We as the Ecumenical Catholic Church of Christ, for us the most important thing is the validity of our holy orders, from deacon to bishop. The validity, because we know the importance of being valid. We have many of us, and I know Mark and Mike along the way, Tony along the way, other bishops, myself, have been approached by different people who were ordained and want to be incarnated. And they search for the true church. But even that sometimes is not the right place for them. And I'll be honest with you. I'm a stickler when it comes to people that want to be incarnated in another religion. Because their background may not be the best. And do I want to destroy what we believe and what is right and what is not? You can't do that. It's like having someone come into your home. You welcome them into your home, and then they start stealing, or they start doing problems in your home. What happens? All of a sudden, your family says, you know, we got to get rid of this person because this is an issue. Or, my money is gone. Then there's dissension in that one whole household. It becomes divided. So we protect our apostolic succession. We protect the validity of the church. And as I reminded Pete, he has to listen to the directions and don't forget that the church is his protector. Talk about the job description, so to say. You know, the documents that I gave you, one of it is fidelity, and that is, of course, for that the Catholic Church takes part in this ecumenical movement. There was a group, I've been a part of it since I've been here, it's called Christian Coalition Group. And this Christian Coalition Group is a gathering of people from different denominations whose one purpose is not to change you, but to come together in prayer. And you get amazed how many groups need prayer. And you think, really? I thought you were okay. But they also need prayer, and they seek prayer. But there is an organization that's actually been out for a while in the church, and it's called the CCT. Christian Churches Together, CCT. They began back in the early 2000s. And I want to read a part of what the purpose of this is. Began in 2001, conversations were among churches in the United States. Began to focus on the need for a broader table. What does broader mean? What does broader mean? What does it mean? It's a bigger table. Not just one, but a bigger table. To begin, the need for a broader table is a forum that will bring together all the major denominations in the country, including evangelicals, Catholics, Protestants, Episcopalians. You know the founder of this CCT was? The National Council of Catholic Bishops. They founded this organization. And it continues. And these conversations led to the foundation of this Christian Churches Together in the USA in March of 2006. The Conference of Bishops was the founding members. Today, they have over 43 churches belonging to the CCT. We don't hear about this. We don't hear that there is communication. Where does unity begin? It begins with communication. It begins with understanding. You as Christians, we as priests, we have to understand this and we'll talk to people. We have to understand what it means to be ecumenical. And we learn about it. The documents that I gave you, you take a look at if you read Untis, one of the documents that I presented to you. In section 3, it says, in this document, the Council Fathers recognize that a divided Christianity is a scandal. Divided Christianity is a scandal to the world. And that the movement of the Holy Spirit was calling for the restoration of unity. We talk about the Holy Spirit constantly. I think that was Untis number 4. I think if you're looking at it right now. But they called it a scandal to have a division. So what we are doing in promoting ecumenical and being ecumenical is to correct the wrong of what they have admitted as to the separation of being a scandal. The Holy Spirit was calling for the restoration of unity. Underlying the Catholic Church's pursuit of ecumenism is the recognition that despite that separation, some and many of the significant elements and endowments which together go to build up and give life to the church itself can exist outside the visible boundaries of the Catholic Church. Nobody can tell us we don't exist. We do. We exist outside the boundaries of the Catholic Church. They admit that in their own documents that's written by the popes. They admit that. We have to make sure it's corrected. We are visible. If we remain hidden, nobody's going to know. And that's probably why some of you never heard about what it's like to be ecumenical until you're exposed. It's like a disease. You're exposed to it and you go, oh, I need to find out more about it.
First of all, I can give you about love. You say you priests are all in the straight line, valid. Who's to say that you're valid, and why are all the other ones, the Lutherans or the Orthodox, the Greek Orthodox, they're not valid?
We're not saying they're not valid. We're not saying we're not valid.
But it's the difference, because all your priests stepped away from the Roman Catholic Church, more or less, right?
In the majority, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the majority. So, all the other churches, they broke with the Roman Catholic Church, so what's the difference?
Differences, people want power.
You're valid and the other ones are not valid.
We never do say others are not valid. We just try to, for ourselves, protect our churches by saying of our validity.
Okay.
When you look at apostolic succession, some of them have what they call loopholes. There's a breakage in the lines. It's like a family tree.
How do you get a breakage?
They didn't complete it, or something went wrong in that particular line. Until you do the research, Mary took my lines. Believe me, when I was consecrated in 2001, that wasn't ready the very next day. I had to research. I had to research each of the bishops, where they came from, who consecrated them, where they come from, who consecrated them. And when you look at it, that's how you make the connection, connect the dots. So the apostolic succession is like a family tree, your own family tree. They brought it. If a family separates, a marriage separates, and all of a sudden the children become separated and they're with another family, that tree, that first family tree is broken, it's branched out. Like I said, with the corporation, the CEO, all the same, different departments serving, different names, Lutheran, Episcopalian, Brazilian, you've got the Greek Orthodox, you got Metropolitan Orthodox, it's just, we're not saying they've got broken lines, we're not saying they're not valid. Because if we start to say that, it's what, we're doing exactly what we don't want people to tell us, because we know what we're doing is correct. If we start playing their game, it just makes the ball of unpleasant wax get bigger and bigger. Our thing is, we are valid, and what we're doing as ecumenical Catholics, we are doing it right. First of all, for God. This is what we're doing, reaching out into the communities as priests, as lay people. Not only priests can go and talk to the community and talk to people in the community. Lay people can. How many people, those ministers, homebound ministers, that take communion to the sick, are they priests? Not necessarily. But they go and they talk and they pray and they give the body of Christ to them. We're all ministers in God in different ways, as a layperson, as they're appointed, selected, and ordained. Okay. I don't want us to get caught up with, that religion is not right. That's not our job. Our job is to keep what we have from being broken, to keep what we have to be solid, to keep what we have to be valid. That's the main purpose. But people that have apostolic succession will take the time and research. We're given 3 bishops, and we follow against the Roman Catholic tradition when consecration, you have 3 bishops. I never asked the reason why until I was being consecrated. Why do I have 3? It's just in case one of the lines are broken. You're still valid because the other lines are solid. You know, that's why we have three. And that became important to me, and that's what made me start to research. And it's my lines, if you look at it, I come under the Spruitt succession also, which is the Church of Antioch, which is the same lines as Archbishop Newman. He was consecrated by the matriarch, Mary Louise Spruitt. I come, that's part of my lines. I come under the Roman Catholic lines. If you look at it, it's weird, I'm like number 300, but there are other people, there were two popes at one time along the way, but if you follow it, it goes all the way to St. Peter. I come under the Brazilian Catholic lines. You know, and these are because I traced it. I had to do my homework. Now, if I came across one that I questioned, I would call John Reeves, or I call Chuck Bliss, or I call Bob Bowman. These are the people that consecrated me, and I would ask. It's like, as a family person, your child is going to get married. You want to make sure that child is going to be protected, especially the daughter. That the man is going to take care of the daughter. It's not going to abuse it. You're going to check to make sure, right? But sometimes there's mistakes. Sometimes you miss something, and something happens. Apostolic succession is our family tree. And you're part of that branches. We have to take care of our family as we grow the church. But that is a good question. Because if anybody asks me, I don't say, well, yes or no. You need to talk to them. I don't know their apostolic succession. Well, my whole thing is.
We're still going to get an answer.
But that's what this is about.
I keep thinking.
What is it about an apostolic succession that you're?
Why is this one line and why is one of the other churches a both line, right? What happens? What they do? I don't know.
There could have been a separation among the churches. Just, it happens. But I can't answer for
You
it.
gotta separate it too, because we tell the Pope we don't agree with a couple of few things, so now you can we step out of the Catholic Church, Roman Catholic Church, correct?
One thing that we don't agree with, I will tell you this, honestly, is the infallibility of the Pope. And a lot of churches will agree with that. The Pope is not the supreme being that whatever he says, it is God. It's always like how we say we teach. We believe he can be the bishop of bishops. We respect him, as you know, we respect him in church, in our mass, in our liturgy. We respect also others for the metropolitan churches, for the Anglican church, Antioch churches. We respect them. All liturgies will be different. Okay? We didn't say separate from the Roman Catholic Church. To be honest with you, they separated from the old Catholic Church. They made the separation. We continue in the old Catholic tradition of Utrecht. We didn't separate. The Pope Pius says, I want the Pope to be infallible. That began the separation. Before Rome became Rome, there were bishops and cardinals that were married. All of a sudden, Rome wanted to maintain its value. Man's law. Priests can't get married. Who should dictate something like that? When we know in the Bible, Jesus cured Peter's mother-in-law, which tells us what? The first pope was married. There were popes throughout the lines that were married. Probably had children. There were popes, believe it or not, that brought their nephew in and said, you're a cardinal, never ordained a priest.
I know,
These things happen. We do not separate from Rome. We maintain the validity of our succession of the old Catholic. So we never made that separation. Rome made the separation and became Rome. So why do you think, this is just my opinion, why do you think Rome in the Second Vatican decided to open up ecumenism? Because they saw some of the faults in what they did when they left. And they saw there are churches that are united through apostolic succession and a valid sacrament and a valid Eucharist. too many people. So it's not for us to say that a certain line is not orthodox or the priests are invalid. They're not necessarily. They're not. So I hope that you kind of understand a little more of church history, where Rome is. But it's questions like that are questions that you are going to face. Exactly what Paul said. Well, what makes you die? Or that person's line broken? How do you know that? So asking questions like that helps. And our bishops who are here, our priests, then have them give us a feedback on their understanding, because they are of the Catholic faith. The majority of them came from Catholic churches. They were ordained. Some of them probably don't understand. Why did I become a Roman Catholic priest? 2 reasons, and I'll share this with you. Because I fell in love with a woman. Okay, so I can't become a Catholic priest. Number 2, during my discernment, I was told as a minority, I'll never succeed as a priest. That came from a Catholic bishop. As a minority, because I'm Hawaiian, I would never succeed as a priest. That came from a Roman Catholic bishop. My father taught me when I was growing up in Hawaii. If somebody hurts you, you knock them out. And then you go and you say to him, why did you say that? And that's what I felt when Bishop Blanchet told me, Joliet, oh, you're a minority. You'll never succeed. Some of the things we don't hear what goes on. Some of us who are dealing with clergy may have experienced something different and maybe change our mind. I fell in love. I want to get married. So I became a priest. And then later on, before I even became ecumenical, I went through this whole process, my wife and I, to become a permanent deacon. My wife and I to become a permanent deacon for the Diocese of Honolulu. Oh, we ran out of money. When does money become important when you're trying to mentor somebody to be a deacon? So that stopped. And then I was introduced. Somebody approached me in an ecumenical and educated me on what it was to be ecumenical and how valid that was. After I was ordained, I kept a low profile until I was consecrated in 2001. Then Honolulu was a little bit like, oh. But I was still serving in the Roman Catholic parish under pastoral council. He was in that parish. I was the lead sacristan. And then I was an independent Catholic bishop. Because the Roman Catholic priest and the deacon, Father Dennis, Deacon Clarence, believe that this is great to have this. But we have to be quiet. Our bishop at that time, Joseph Farrar, retired. He was my teacher in the seminary. He retired and was saying Mass. And we had a Lutheran priest who became a Catholic priest, who then tried to do things. I need to share this with you because hopefully you understand this. During the Easter season, whatever host is not consecrated Holy Thursday, it just gets eaten. You don't celebrate it. And then when it comes to the Easter Vigil, you consecrate a brand new host. Right? This is what a Catholic priest did, who was a Lutheran in the parish of St. Anthony's. When I was preparing for Easter Vigil, he brought this bowl. I said, what's that for? Some poster was in the tabernacle. He dumped it. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, nobody knows. You see, that's how the Lutherans celebrate Mass. When they finish breaking bread and wine, oh, anybody wants bread? Come and eat it.
I know.
Okay? Yes, you know that priest. And then there was a mandate that came from the diocese and said, no Eucharistic minister that's serving communion who pour the wine into the communion cups. Only be ordained. One morning, I was the sacristan for Bishop Ferrari. I was serving as the lead sacristan for Bishop Ferrario when he retired. Bishop Francis Del Rosario was the new bishop. I brought the communion cups up. I stepped back. The bishop looked at me and called me over. I said, oh, can you pour the wine in the cups? Not a problem. I poured the wine. This Lutheran priest was standing off to the side. Mass was over in the sacristy as we are, I'm putting things away. He comes in and he yells at me. He's Kimo. You're the lead sacristan. Didn't you read the Bible? Only the ordained are to pour that wine. Before I can say anything, Bishop Ferrario looked at him and says, Father, you know he qualifies. He accepted my ordination. He goes, he qualifies. He is ordained to pour that wine. These are the things that we as priests, as catechists, have gone through in our own individual churches. And when we left, my family, I left because we had a parish. Peter didn't come right away. They kind of like wondered what happened to Kimo. Found out where Kimo was and came. They didn't pull nobody away from the churches. But what happened was the bishop asked Father Dennis, how important is the Kiali family to this parish? Oh, very important. Financially, very important. Tell him to come back, and he can't receive communion. Who tells me I can't receive communion? Wow. Nobody. Jesus didn't refuse communion and breaking bread, as we mentioned the Last Supper. He broke bread and gave it to the person that betrayed him. I never went back. My family slowly dwindled away. We used to occupy that section in the house, and it was like, what's empty over there? I didn't pull them away. I didn't tell my family they had to come. They came. But that was their choice. Like it's your choice to be ecumenical. It is your choice. These are the challenges that is met because people are ignorant and they don't know. We are brainwashed from being a child. You're Roman Catholic, this is the way it is. We are the church and the only church. Until you learn. Somebody pulled me and said, we'll talk to you. That was Bowman in Florida. I flew to Florida to spend a weekend of retreat to learn what you're learning today. I'm wondering, is this real? I'm just like you. Is this real? And he taught me. He said, yes, it is. And that's what I chose. That's when he ordained me. And that's when I went back to what I became an ecumenical priest. When I became a bishop in 2001, I was approached by Bishop Del Rosario. Are you valid? I had Monsignor Grimaldi, who was a vicar general at that time, come to my office, or called my office and wants to see my apostolic succession. Made an appointment, you come and see my bishop. And I was being as respectful as they are respectful to me, as we as a priest. Because if we just say, let people talk to us like we're nothing, that's how you're going to be treated. And I went to his office for a 2 o'clock appointment. I checked in because I'm busy and the bishop out of the clerks. And he came out, he looked at me and said, hey, Kimo, how are you? I said, I'm fine, Joe. He said, oh, I'm looking around, I'm a senior now. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm bishop. And then he said to me, Bishop Del Rosario will be with you shortly. I said, no problem. And I waited. 5 minutes before the interview, he goes back and I goes, I'm sorry. The bishop was very busy. But talk to Darlene. I made another appointment. I said, well, I'll tell you what. You know Bishop Del Rosario, that when he's going to see me, you call my office to make the appointment. And you come to see me. Now, Bishop Ferrario is lived on the property. He had an oratory. And I don't know if you knew this speak, but every Wednesday, I was at Bishop Ferrario's house, celebrating Mass with him in the oratory and having lunch. Retired bishop. When he passed away, I went to his funeral. And I had another bishop with me, Bishop Jacques Isbell, another priest, and we went to pay respect to the man who taught me in the seminary, to the man who became a bishop, and a man who accepted me who I was as an ordained. And there in front of hundreds of people, I was approached by Bishop Delaranto, the man that just ridiculed me. And he said to me, Bishop Kimo, it's good to see you. Let's continue our communication. I knew that was not right. He did that because there were people around. He never did care. He never did continue any communication. But did that stop me from what we had to get done? No, it wasn't about me. It was about the people I was serving in our community. That's what's important about being ecumenical and believing in oneself. It's okay to be Roman Catholic. It's okay to come and celebrate Mass with those of the Ecumenical Catholic Church. But you don't need to walk away feeling which one was real. Because they both are. So it's a valid sacrament and a valid Eucharist. These documents that I hope that you're reading through, I know it's very detailed. It points out how ecumenism is so important in the church. But it's not easily recognized or put out in paper. You don't visibly see, so maybe Francis now, Pope Francis, but you don't even see amongst the own diocese, your own parishes, bishops coming out and visiting you, a Blessed Damien and Lord, coming and visiting an archangels and seraphim. You may get the Episcopal bishop, because Father Vincent introduces them to us, and respected his fine. I met different bishops, I met Lutheran bishops, I met Methodist bishops. We're all friends, they understand, they don't condemn, there's a few. So, I'm not condemning the Roman Catholic Church. We've all been hurt some way or another as bishops, as priests. Jacob was at the point of wanting to become a Roman Catholic priest. How do we do this? But he also had things that he had to do with, well, I don't know if I can do this in a Roman Catholic Church. Just like when I started to fall in love, what do I do? You know, what do I do? I did what God said I need to do. This year will be 30 years I've been married. I have a beautiful daughter who's 27. 30 years. And still continue serving the Lord to this very day. It's not an easy task. You know, the church is your family. God is always the first, but God tells you to take care of your family. In doing so, you take care of your spirituality and your strength. This is important. You know, many of us have journeys we're not happy about. But you know, something touches my heart every time Sunday when I hear Jacob say, let's pray for the homeless, for those in prison, hungry, because those are the people that Jesus wants us to serve, regardless. I don't care what, regardless. Can you tell me who St. Paul was?
What was the question?
St. Paul. Does anybody know who St. Paul was? Where was St. Paul?
Saul.
Saul.
Yeah.
The two of them, after the Holy Spirit came, he was the one that went to the people and tried to make them part of a religious group.
Didn't he serve time in prison?
Yes, and they said,
But he was.
Because he was against Christ.
Well, what was he? He was in prison.
Yeah.
Okay? But when he was saved, what did he say? I'm in prison for Christ. That's what he was in prison for. He served his time. He was saved in prison. Many prisoners are saved, believe it or not. Sometimes we feel like, no, they're not. They just want to get out early, so they want to. And maybe there are some that fake it. But there are some that realize their second time to make things right is to turn to God for that direction. many of us walk a path. We're all prisoners in our own lives sometimes. We are. Doesn't have to be in a facility, it could be in our own lives, or where we are. And it's okay to be a prisoner. Any comments or questions, or yes, you do, or?
Sure, yeah, I know, I totally agree with you. I just like to mention, I think that for me as a priest, there are so many things that are important: tradition, the apostolic succession, and I think sometimes we, as a church community members, we get so caught up in that stuff that we actually lose what's really important. Like, oh, that's not a legit church. And for me as a priest, I think what's so important is to, go out and just bring Jesus to everybody. And that's through just love and acceptance and welcoming people. And, if there's somebody in the church that I know is not baptized, but believes that in Jesus Christ and is there to receive the Eucharist, it's like, who am I not to give this piece of Eucharist, this piece of Jesus God to this person? And I think that's how we have to be with other churches. Yes, we have the insurance. I look at it as like, we have the insurance, we're legit, but it's also what's important is going out. Our church is not in the building, it's out, going out and having fellowship and having community, and I think that's really the foundation of what we're trying to build here, and what we're trying to do, and what we are doing. And that's my little
Bishop Mark in 29 sat the other night in one of the discussions with apostolic succession. And Mark, I want you to share something because I learned something when he said this. I began to think about what he said. You want to share with us, he talked about apostolic succession, how important it is? Do you remember the conversation we
I
had?
remember the conversation, but I was sitting here thinking that we get so preoccupied with succession. Are we legitimate or not? Do we have the right pedigree? Because it's almost like an animal pedigree. And I think more importantly is the question, are we authentic? And by authentic, I mean, are we taking seriously what Jesus of Nazareth took seriously? Are we attempting to implement in our lives, individual and corporate lives, are we attempting to respond to the values that Jesus laid out for us? And are we following the way of Jesus and not following churchianity, getting caught up in structure, but are we at the core, living from the center of the tradition, making it our own and radiating it out to God's people? That becomes the most important thing for me. Yes, questions of succession preoccupy people. There's a certain value in discussing that, but getting so wrapped up in that we lose sight of what is the essentials is a waste of our time, effort, and energy.
Good point. If we follow what Jesus has mandated us, His commandments, His law, that is our apostolic succession.
From the palm to the darkness of everything.
To follow what He has just shared, what Jesus has said for us to follow, that is our apostolic succession. That is our validity. That is why as we take the priesthood, we take the sacraments, we take the Eucharist as being the most important, because to Jesus, the most important part that He gave all of us was breaking the bread and wine and sharing it with all. That becomes our apostolic succession. Yes, we have to follow. It's just like the churches. We have to be registered with the IRS to have a 501c3 so we can be legitimate. The government tells us we have to do that, so we follow. So we have to follow the pedigree that's given to us to what? Convince the people that need to know. They'll never understand what Bishop Mark explained, what it is to follow Christ and do His work. And I'll tell you something, as a bishop, I failed many times. I'm not perfect. I fail, but I pick myself up. And that's what Jesus expects us to fail. Tell me something. Jesus expects us to make mistakes so He can put His hand out and says, come on, get up. make mistakes and say, you are forgiven. What we need to do to others who hurt us, and we have been hurt many times. As the Lord's Prayer says, forgive one another as we have been forgiven. That's why that prayer is the only prayer, that's in the Bible, that's written, is the Lord's Prayer. But, we say, and that's why to me, it's fun to have people like Tony, to have people like Michael, to have people like Mark, and not just depend on my own education, my own personal experiences, and some of them is very hurtful. But I need somebody to make me understand and look at it a different way. And that's what unity is about, and ecumenical is about also. We're doing what the Catholic Church should have done even before Vatican II, is talk with different leaders of different churches and sit down. And don't worry about value, don't worry about property, don't worry about materialistic things, but worry about what God and through His Son Jesus Christ said, born on this earth to follow. One of the things in this conference I read with the Muslims is when the Congresswoman Waters said, did you know that all of us in Congress know nothing about world religion? And I said to her, honestly, I said, Congresswoman, so why not educate them? You're letting someone declare war who has no concept about that country, probably, except we need to kill, to send our men and women to defend us. When basically it could just simply be sitting down, talking about our faith, talking about being unified to make it happen. But I like when somebody comes up, it's not, well, I don't want to say it because it's gonna, people don't understand me. No, we all understand, because believe it or not, each one of us, if you look at us, we're all different. We probably have the same thought. But what makes it real? It's the Eucharist that makes it real. The body and blood. And if you listen to what I told Pete and what I shared, it is the true body, it is the true blood. Do this in memory of me, is what God has told us. Jesus said to us. That's what we must do. Amen.
I say Bishop Mark Newman for 2020.
You can be on my cabinet, thank you.
You'll start to teach God.
That would be the first disciple.
According to the book of Jacob, this is where it's going to be. And Pete's going to come up and he's going to say, bye-bye, you learn. Bye-bye, you learn. It's a phrase that the teacher is right. I can take it 2 ways. Like, bye-bye, you learn, you made a mistake, Bishop. I could take it that way. Or he could be saying, bye-bye, you learn about ecumenism, about what it means. We call ourselves Catholics. We are. We are universal. And we should be proud of it. We should be thankful for what we learned, even in the catechism of being raised as Roman Catholics. There's a saying, you can never leave an old horse and teach an old horse new things. I don't agree with that, because new tricks and new tricks. But my thing is, I remember the saying.
It used to be a dog.
The words is only water, right? Okay, teach old dogs how to do tricks.
You can go first water, but try and make it drink. But you can sure make them thirsty.
At least I don't follow his listening, the word's wrong. No, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But you know what? You can. Anybody who is old, no matter what age, can still learn with the mindset. Paula still goes. She learns Russian. What I'm saying is, no matter how old you are, or how young you are, there's still room to learn. Paul is a fine example. still learning Russian. Do you think I would learn Russian?
No.
All I know is Zutai. Is that Russian? No, that's German. Oh, sorry. Wrong language. But you still can learn, no matter what. Okay. And anybody else? Jimmy? Oh, no. Thomas? Jimmy? Anything you want to share?
What I want to say.
Yes, I know.
Oh, okay, this is, before I changed to the ecumenical church, I was not going to church very often. And I lost interest. And ever since Jacob became a priest, and we got really very, very proud of him, I started going. For some odd reason, it mattered to me. But before that, because there's a lot of stuff, I'm going to be honest, that I don't agree with the Roman Catholic Church. Because, like you say, we're universal. And the only thing I see different, okay, is we all pray to the one God, but we all have different dominations, but we're the same. I'm not no better than a Jewish person or whatever else there's out there. I'm not no better, they're no better than I am. I always remember the thing when my father told me as a little girl, but I did not understand it. He looked at me and said, "You are no better than anybody, like they're no better than you." And I did not understand what he was telling me until I got older. And I realized, he's telling me that we're all the same. We all bleed the same blood. So why should I feel like I'm better than somebody else or they're better than me? But like I said, now I noticed that, and I would say the rosary, I'm not gonna lie that I would say it every day, but now I got to the point where I may get a habit of going to my porch and saying the rosary for the whole world, because we need prayers. What does Virgin say? Say the rosary every day, say the rosary to save us. Because the way our world is going right now, it's sad. And the generation of now, they don't want to listen to their parents. They think they know it all. But it's never too late for us to change our future children to wake up and be happy with themselves, because they're not happy. You know?
Amen, sister. I want to just quote a couple pages from the documents that you have, and again, I encourage you to keep this with you and to read it. Also, in Unitatis, it says, some, and even very many of the significant elements and endowments which together go to build up and give life to the church itself can exist, as I mentioned, outside the visible boundaries of the Catholic Church. The Church's ecumenical vision was further clarified by St. Pope John Paul II in 1995, Ut Unum, which recognizes these elements as the imperfect realization of unity that already exists in Jesus Christ as part of the one Church of Christ. The Church of Christians is understood as a manifestation of the communion with God the Father through Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, ecumenical dialogue, the search for full, visible unity. Is therefore essential to the Christian life. This unity, which the Lord has bestowed on His church, and in which He wishes to embrace all people, is not something added on, but stands at the very heart of Christ's mission. That was His mission. Christ's mission. Not mine, not anybody else. It's not but Christ. And that is what John Paul II wrote in his encyclical. That sums it all up of who we are we God to answer the questions we are God. I want to take this time to ask if there are you got from some closing moments. I think unless you have more questions, we'll start with Thomas. If you want to share and go from there.
Overall, great experience being here. I was really hectic with everything going on in my life and trying to make time and do this and that, and I'm so glad something just told me to just go. And my wife is like, you need God in your life, go. You know, because it's like, you know, to me personally, I stress over the littlest things. The littlest things I stress over, and frustration kicks in, and you know, frustration is being so angry. And being here it makes me feel at ease, and being with everybody here, and it just enlightens me. It opens my eyes, because you hear the gospel, you hear the sermon, like in a Catholic way, right? You hear this thing, you just go through motions. You hear here, being here and hearing, being through and just hearing people talk from the heart. Like when you connected, when you saw your mom and your brother, and I just felt that. That really got me. I was like, man, I feel the Holy Spirit right here. And you can't deny it. I can't make this up. It's just, you feel it all in one. Everybody felt it. Tears just coming out of everybody's eyes. It was so powerful. And being a part of that was amazing to me. And I appreciate everything of it, because now I have something to take back home and actually enlighten my wife and my two wonderful kids. And I just want to try to push it more and more, be more involved in the church. Because, you know, everybody walks that line and then jump off, come back on, and you know, I'm trying to stay that path now and try to make it better myself. And through the church is the only way we can do it. And having that open heart, it just makes everything so much better. Because it's like, it's a win-win. And I'm really glad I'm honestly being a part of it.
Thank you. Ms. Karen, any thoughts on the,
Well, I just wanted to read a little bit, you know, excuse my English accent, but anyway, I just feel very blessed to be part of all of you. I have seen 3 of the nations. One of my uncles was nationed, was one, you know, the first one that I saw. This was in Mexico many years ago. And then Father Jacobs, which I liked very, very much. And Father Margangelos, when he was ordained bishop. I thank you, Bishop Kimo, for all your teaching. Thank you very much. And Pedro, may God bless you always.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Ashley.
I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey in this journey. And I didn't go to Jacob's ordination. So this is my first time, and this is such a beautiful and intimate experience, and I loved it.
And thank you for taking pictures. I really appreciate that. Yes. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Having a great time and meeting all you guys. It's quite an experience seeing the ordination. I think there's Bishop Mark Jacobs and being the deacon. And it's just, I'm happy for you, I'm happy for you and your family, and I know you do great things.
Thank you.
I would like to ask Jacob to read for us something on page 8. Page 8 is about the document we started for introduction, number 7. It's on page 8. The upper part is number 7. Do you have it or? Yes. Yeah, please.
There can be no ecumenicism worthy of the name without a change of heart. For it is from renewal of the inner life of our mind, from self-denial and unstained love, that deserves and unity take their rise and develop in a mature way. We should therefore pray to the Holy Spirit for the grace to be genuinely self-denying, humble, gentle in the service of others, and to have an attitude of brotherly and sisterly generosity towards them and all I therefore, the prisoner from the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of calling to which you have been called, with all humility and meekness, with patience forbearing one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. This exhortation is directed especially to those raised to sacred orders, precisely that the work of Christ may be continued. He came among us not to serve, but to serve. Not to be served, but to serve. Okay, thank you, David. You're welcome. And why did you think that was a special moment to share?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Because all that we are saying is there. If we are not genuine, if we are not authentic, and we don't change our hearts, as Bishop was saying, if we don't portray the values of Christ, so we will not do ecumenism. And finally, I want to mention something now that Jacob asked me. In the church, when we talk about ecumenism, we have all the Christian communities, Christian churches, the Orthodox Church, the old traditions of the Christian communities. But we don't forget that we have also some other religions, and there must be a dialogue with them. And that is not ecumenism, that is interreligious dialogue with our fellow Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus. And that was strong to me because when I landed in Africa so many years ago, for me it was shocking. I landed at 7 p.m. We went to sleep, and at 4 a.m. I heard a terrible noise saying, Allah Akbar. You know what is that? Great. God is great in Islam. And so it was 4 a.m. 4 mosques were around the house. 4 mosques. And they were all calling to prayer. And for me, it was a terrible noise. It was something new. I was even scared because 4 a.m. And just to tell you that sometimes we live in a world and we don't know where we are. And sometimes we are surrounded by people that think different, pray God in a different way, and we don't know. And we may think that we are the best ones or that they are wrong. So for me, the point is we have to portray Christ in our lives. With humbleness, as Paul says, with the spirit of service, to be able to show love to one another, to respect others. Just today after ordination, I was talking to a priest in Africa, because I keep in touch with my friends in Africa. And there was a deacon asking me to pray for him. And he said, Father Julio, pray for me, because I'm being attacked every day here by the Catholic Church. And he said, they keep telling people every day that I am a fake priest, that I am wrong, that I am a danger to this community. So I think when I read these documents, I feel like the Holy Spirit is talking. They are so beautiful, very beautiful. And it's not just to be beautiful. It means that we have also to respect others, and that we have to put our guns down. We are not better, they are not better, we are all called to unity. And here in our community in LA, I have heard people, you have told me that in San Augustine's Catholic Church, they keep talking bad about us. They keep saying that we are wrong. Or they keep saying that Father Mark is wrong. So ecumenism is not there. Because we are pointing fingers. We are blaming or judging some others. So, what I think the summary of all of this is this. We have to change our hearts, to portray these as values with humbleness of spirit.
Paul?
Absolutely. I'm very happy and grateful to be part of this. It's very touching. What did this looks? And it did remind me a lot of Jacob's ordination. Yeah, it was very much, all the three brothers tried not to cry too much. It was very beautiful and very intimate and very special. Absolutely. And I wish you very good luck in your pastoral mission.
I just want to thank you for going on the spiritual retreat and for his day. And good luck. You just brought back a lot of memories and a lot of emotions. Thank you.
I just want to say that it's been an honor meeting everybody here and being around you guys, especially my family that, I'm around them a lot. But I think we've connected in a different way. We've gotten closer. But I do want to say that, listening to, I guess being in the church, I didn't realize a lot of stuff that, I didn't realize a lot of things that I guess I thought it was normal. It was just something that was normal, just, and when you explained, all of you that have spoken and kind of say just how everybody comes together. And, as I was listening to you, it just brought back, it's like, Archangels and Seraphims is a family. There's a lot of people here, it's just like a family. You have those that fight with each other, they have little scuffles, and so-and-so's not talking to so-and-so, it feels like a family, and, yeah, it's, hey, yeah, you get mad at one another, but, later on it's like, hey, you're still in our life, we love you. And, today, during this ceremony, I just feel everything meshed. It just felt natural. It didn't, you felt the love. You felt what Christ, what we're supposed to do. I don't even want to say the church. It's just us as humans, the interaction that we have with each other, and we should love each other, whether, like you said, whether, you're Catholic, Buddhist, anything. It doesn't, that shouldn't matter. Religion really shouldn't matter. It's us spreading love. That's what Jesus did. He spread his love. He brought in those people, those outsiders. And I think just us in general, that's what we should do. We should be pushing each other out, not putting them down. And if anything that I recommend is just spread love in your ministry.
Oh, thank you. Brother Tony.
I think there's two things that struck me. One is what Father Julio and a couple others mentioned in the documents, that number 7 on page 8. There can be no ecumenism worthy of the name without a change of heart. The thing that struck me in that is change of heart. The Greek word for change is metanoia. Right? Metanoia it's a very powerful word. It's transforming. It can be translated to transformation, transforming, change. But it's not just changing like, you take your shoes off, you take your socks off, you change your socks. It is a complete transformation. That's a metanoia. That is a change of heart. So I think the documents and what this weekend is calling us to do is make that change, make that metanoia, make that change of heart, change not only who we are, but as we reach out, Father Pete, as you reach out, you're going to be changing hearts, you're going to be transforming lives. The other thing is, the name of this place, Spirit in the Desert. Again, I go back to the Greeks. Pneuma is spirit. But do you know what the word pneuma means in Greek? It doesn't, we translate it very poorly to mean spirit. Pneuma means wind, breeze, right? And Scripture tells us, Jesus tells us that, we don't know where the breeze comes or where it goes, but we know it's there. That's ecumenism. It is a holy spirit, an agios pneumas, a holy spirit, a sacred wind that we breathe on each other. It's this change of heart that we breathe onto each other. And the only way that we can do that is through our example. If we have no example, we have nothing. If we have no example that we can leave this conference with and go out to the real world, then it's all hearts and flowers and all this stuff, and you might as well just take it and light a match and burn it because it's meaningless. This is something that we have to have, that agios pneumas, that sacred wind that we can breathe onto everyone. One of the things that we bishops do on during Holy Week, one part of the liturgy is we bless oils, holy oils. The oil that we chrismated Peter with today, the chrism. After the blessing is done, the bishop blows on it 3 times in the sign of the cross. Right? Blows on it. Gives that spirit to it. And that spirit is to be taken out. And when we anoint with that oil, we ask these people spiritually, if you will, to breathe this grace, this blessing onto others. That's what ecumenism is. Ecumenism is taking who we are, changing our hearts, reaching out to people, changing their hearts. They reach out to people, they change their hearts, and we do it by the breath of Christ, the breath of God, the agios pneumas. So if there's one thing that was really touching for me, as I said, this ordination, every time, I do this, sometimes I hate being a damn Sicilian because I'm so damn emotional. I used to be like a rock, and now it's like, I watch the Waltons and I cry. It's terrible. But the thing is that it is emotional. The Spirit of God is meant to be emotional. Because the strongest thing that we have in our lives are our emotions, our feelings. You take them away, we are nothing. You take them away from somebody else, they're even less than nothing, because we become less than nothing. Fill with Jesus, fill with God, fill with the other churches. Enjoy the breath of life. Enjoy that agios pneumas. And I wish that you all have a metanoia, a true transformation of heart. Don't ask me where that came from because I have no idea. I'm serious. I have no idea.
The only thing, when I was ordained a bishop, the line that I live by and every day I live by is from the Acts of the Apostles. They remained faithful to the teaching, to the breaking of the bread, and the fellowship. And that was actually the call of the mandate for the church leaders. When they were anointed or ordained in the early Christian community. Those three things. They remained faithful to the teaching, the breaking of the bread, and the fellowship. So I remind myself of that every day. I follow closely St. Benedict in saying that the sanctification of our day is the whole day. And I was born a Catholic, raised a Catholic, ordained a Catholic. I live today as a Catholic, and I will die a Catholic. And we said at dinner that the biggest thing for me, moving from the Roman Church to the ecumenical or to the independent movement, was that it was an interior journey for me, that I had to rediscover what it meant to be Catholic. And it was a painful journey because I had grown up so defined within the walls of Roman Catholicism. And that once I went out on that journey on my own, it was to discover that Catholicity was bigger than the Roman Church. And I say that with all due respect, that to understand my Orthodox brothers and sisters, my Coptics, to understand my Lutheran brothers and sisters, to understand my Anglican brothers and sisters, to the great ecumenical religions, ecumenical communities, because you're right. When we talk about those outside of Christianity, it's interreligious dialogue. When we talk about all Christian groups within, we talk about ecumenism. And so I had to rediscover what it meant to be Catholic. And I think that for many Catholics who move into the independent Catholic movement, that's a journey that they need to make. And it's a painful journey. And we have to walk with them as they make that journey. And we don't make the journey by putting other groups down, like Roman Catholicism. I choose not to define myself by what I'm not, but choose to define myself by what I am. I am not an ex-Roman Catholic. I am a Catholic. There's a big difference between the two. And so as we move into the ecumenical Catholic movement, that really it's a rediscovery of our Catholicity and a claiming back our Catholicity, our love of the sacramental system. And Paula, when you brought up about the validity and not validity, it really is the beauty of my choice to live within a sacramental system. It's not for everybody. But for me as a Catholic, it is. It is what is my foundation and my rock. And I share that, with others. But it really is, it's a rediscovery of what it means to be Catholic. Nobody can tell me I am not a Catholic. No. I am Catholic. Catholic, Catholic, Catholic. And I understand your rosary, because that's important to me too.
Every day.
Yes. Yeah. So, that's it.
Appreciate it.
First, I'd like to thank Archbishop Kimo for the invitation to be here to participate in this weekend, in these seminars, and to be present at Father Pete's ordination. It's always a pleasure to reconnect with Bishop Kimo and to support your jurisdiction in any way that I can. The work of ecumenism, finding common ground in the Christian tradition. But this is part of something much bigger. Bishop Michael and I had the opportunity to attend the Parliament of the World's Religions in Toronto last year. 8,500 people from 120 some different faith traditions coming together, not to proselytize, not to vaunt themselves, to flaunt themselves, to promote themselves, but to look at common core elements in each of those traditions that can be marshaled to address the problems that face this planet. Overpopulation, income disparity, suppression of women, all the things that are taking place on this planet that go against God's plan for us. The environment's a big one as well, absolutely. So there is a move to begin to come together and work collaboratively and cooperatively. Your efforts, the ecumenical effort within Christianity in general, and the particular efforts of this jurisdiction in that process are important pieces to that. You're playing your part, and your context, there's a larger context for this. The Spirit is at work, so your work is valuable. You may be just a local group, if you will, but you're part of something that is global and possibly cosmic, because Christ is cosmic. So your efforts are really valuable. Don't underestimate them. Don't get caught up in minutiae, people, please. See the larger picture and work from that.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to add that the ecumenism is unity, not sameness. There's a big difference. It's unity, not sameness.
Unity in diversity.
Yes.
Well, I want to tell you, Father Pedro, that I was very honored to be part of your celebration, and may God bless you on your new journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was just thinking of how I'm going to say this and what I'm going to say. It's been a very emotional. I thought it's your funny to want to see my son. They were getting as healthy. I love you all, and I thank you all for being here. Share this moment with me and my son. Thank you. Kimo, thank you very much for all the hard work in preparing, arranging, and planning this for my son. Father Jacob, my deepest Mahalo, I know you worked hard. You've always been there for Kimo. Give him a hand. He asked, and you do, and I thank you. To the clergy, Archbishop, you have already just met today, but I thank you for being here. I really felt heartfelt. Thank you. Bishop, thank you for all the encouragement you've given my son. And we'll see where his journey takes him. Let the Holy Spirit guide him and let him grow and spread the word. I know he prepares his speech. He doesn't prepare his speech. The Holy Spirit speaks. Feels his heart. And thank you. God bless you, son. And I'm always there for you. And I love you too.
So I just wanted to, congratulate about that. That was, the journey was long, I mean, the journey, I was to the point, I was thinking like, God, this guy's not gonna go through it, he's gonna eat cold, he's gonna disappear. But, you know, as a family, I'm very proud, we're very proud of that. And, you know, just to witness this ordination, I've never, in my life, witnessed something like this, and so powerful, so intimate, like you guys are all saying. And very, very proud of you. But, you know, when I referred to my brother when he came from the farm, he's a mom. Brother. No, hey, how's it going today? Mom, why don't you say padre? Padre. How are you doing today? But it was a great journey. Because it's all about Jesus. He's very proud of him. And the whole journey had come from Mom, because as we're getting ready in the room, Mom says, son, are you going to pack some paintings? As I see her picking up some of the paintings. Mom, no, I'm not going to. I don't need paintings. But you know what? I packed up 12 paintings to go get. Mom didn't need it. Mom needed it. She couldn't watch it. So I put it in the packing book. We kept all of these as we came up together. And like you guys said, the experience, the Holy Spirit was with us. It was so powerful that everyone came to responses. I was choked up. I couldn't speak. There was no words that was coming out of my mouth, and I couldn't force the words to come out. And it was definitely so powerful. But again, I'm so proud of my brother, and I would thank everybody for being here, traveling far. And so it's a journey for you folks, especially once it's driving it, and you know, I'm just so grateful. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Ms. Mayor.
It's been a lovely few days. I've been very honored to have come with all of you. I know the Blessed Trinity has been here with us all. And Father Kimo has put so much effort into all of this. And I want to say congratulations to you all.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Okay. Oh, I just wanted to say how blessed I am again to have all of you attend my ordination. And I couldn't have asked for a better family. The idea of ecumenism shouldn't be a foreign concept to us because we already achieved it here. We have differences here, but we achieve ecumenism because we see a unity, we come together and we can agree on something. We agree on the love for each other and the love of Christ and the love of our faith. Put aside our denomination, which separates us, and put together what Hawaiians would like to say, the ohana, the love, the aloha that puts us together. And you'll find that ecumenism is not a hard concept to realize and achieve. All we have to do is what we have here, what we took in put by our heart here, we have to bring it to fruition outside. And it just move it out. And although it's not something selfish, it's not something that you keep within yourself, it's something that you bring out and you share with others. And that's why everybody says, Hawaii, we all have aloha, we all share aloha, no matter where you come and you come visit, we always greet you with love. And this is what we have to do. So the concept of ecumenism is not hard and it's not far-fetched to achieve. We've done it here. Now we just have to carry it out there. Mm-hmm. And I did. God bless each one of you. And thank you again. Thank you.
I have something to say. So Hawaiians, when you're talking on a long call or anything, aloha, hello, aloha, goodbah, so whatever you say, okay, aloha, like they start over.
Yeah, we said
aloha. I just really want to say it has been an honor and a privilege, and I really do want world peace. I want to thank Bishop and everyone for coming and to celebrate this moment and just to be present here in this facility and in the desert and in Arizona. all of us here is just so much love and support, and I love that, and I take all that love in, and I give it all back to God, and God accepts it, and, you know, I just thank you personally, and I'm so excited and proud for you, and where you're at, and, you know, there's those moments of like, am I ready for this, and it's like, you're never really gonna be 100% ready, but you're definitely ready for this, you know, you trust the Spirit, you trust God, and you're in very good hands.
Oh, thanks.
Amen.
Kimo, I believe the scripture I think is important for some of us, for all of us in fact. This two scriptures is important because it also deals with our lives. Because in Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, it says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Not only for you people, for all of us here. And I will share 3 words, since we are Hawaiian, 3 words that meant a lot to me in Hawaii. One of the words always here, it's aloha. The other one is lokahi. And the other one is malama. Love, come together, lokahi. And malama, take care of each other. I want to take a short break. We'll come back here. We want to start with our night prayers with Archbishop Tony. About to try out here, you want to grab some water. Let's just take about 5 minutes for today. And please come back and we will conclude. Good to see you this evening. That was officially true. That was officially true. I know you do, but I'm tired.
Oh, Jesus.
How's some tea? There's some capital 50.
Oh, you're done knocking out. Oh, my Jesus. I thought.
Bread.
Hey, Jake. I thought he wasn't real. Bishop.
I'm gonna send you a card, we're gonna start.
Yes.
No, Declan. I thought he was not real.
What do you mean?
I thought he was a statue.
I sent the address, yes, and I'm very.
Oh, my Lord Jesus.
No, I don't.
Oh, my God, he's a monk. I'm tired. Okay. So how long was the break? You're not so sleepy. You know what they have you do? Take this to the pool and come up the ramp. Oh my God, I tell you. That's pretty neat, you know? Because I was afraid. You know, I kind of didn't know what I was gonna say. I know, because I was like, most people, you know, the choice of, who is this?
How are you? Decaf?
I want to still have your address. Oh, really?